Good morning. Well, everybody, I am home, and the first thing I'm going to do is make some bread. I fed Lillian last night. Now, I prepared her by dry feeding her before I left, and Fred. And so that meant I put in quite a bit of flour and not as much water. And I didn't even leave her on the counter. I just shoved her in the fridge, covered her up, and left her for 10 days. And that's what I did with Fred. So I put in quite a bit of flour, a little bit of water, thick paste, and let them both sit in the fridge. So this was Lillian's first feeding. And she did not overflow, but she must have peaked right to the top. And so there she is. So she's ready. I'm going to use her this morning. And I'm going to feed Fred tonight and use him later. So first off, you're going to do change the mode of your weigh scale, 2 grams. And we're going to double this recipe this morning. So I'm going to start with 700 grams of water. So zero out your bowl and let's get started. 700 grams. To 700 grams of water, I'm going to add 200 grams of starter. Okay? Come on, Lillian. I think I'm going to go with 120, so doubling of 60 grams instead of 200. I don't have 200. So 120 will do. $125, and that leaves that much for me to make more later. Mix till frothy and milky. Okay, so I went with 120 grams of starter because I didn't quite have 200 and I didn't want to use all of Lillian up. So now I've mixed that in, and I'm going to add 1,000 grams of good quality bread flour. So that's 1,000 grams. Now take it off your scale because you don't want to wreck your scale. You use your Dutch whisk or your hands to mix it up. Okay? Just keep mixing until all the dry bits are gone. See? And you have a dry, shaggy mass, but no dry bits. It's just, I'll show you. Use your bowl sweeper. Just sweep down the bowl and keep it clean. Keep it clean, people. Okay, once it's mixed all up like that, and it's already starting to do its thing. So I'm going to add the salt and a little bit more water and mix it up and let it rest for an hour covered on the counter before we start our first stretch and folds. Just hang on. It's 20 grams of pink Himalayan salt. Okay? Too much salt. Okay, now mix it all in with your fingers and a little bit of water. Just dimple it in. That's it. Now it's gonna rest for an hour. Now I'll cover it and let it rest for 1 hour. Okay, so this is the second set of coil folds. And I always wet my hands just a little bit. It's already building tension. And you just pick it up in the middle and flip it over. Pick it up in the middle, stretch it out. Sometimes I do this. You can see the gluten forming already. And then as this ferments, the gluten actually gets ate up. So the longer it sits and ferments, like once you leave it bulk ferment and then put it in the fridge to ferment overnight, proof, there's less and less gluten in it. Do your research. But anyways, and I just smooth out the top, cover it for another half hour, and then I'll do probably 1 or 2 more sets, and then it'll sit on the counter for the rest of the afternoon. Okay, bye. Okay, final stretching folds, coil folds, and then it's gonna sit on the counter for about 6 hours. And then I will shape it for it to stay in the banneton overnight. And you see how it is? It's not sticky at all. It's ready to bulk ferment on the counter now. And that's how it looks. That's it. Well, I forgot to show you how to shape the bread, but I'll do that another time. But tomorrow I will show you how to score it and get it in the oven, and then I'll show you the finished results. Bye. Good morning, everybody. I forgot to show you me shaping the dough last night, but it's in a banneton. This is I made a strawberry with freeze-dried strawberries off of Amazon. Not cheap, but anyways, freeze-dried strawberries and white chocolate chips in this loaf, and then a plain loaf for the second one. So let's get this started. So I use one of these little silicone things to get the loaf in and out, but I still use one little piece of parchment paper as well. And these are the silicone bannetons. You can get them in 2 packs on Amazon. Love them. Okay, so let's do this. This is the only thing about the silicone that I'm not a fan of. It's not real easy to get it out. Now my loaf got kind of sticky as I was trying to shape it last night, so I'm not sure why. I may have overproofed it. It just seems dense. So we'll see how this turns out. Could be because it was my first time I fed my starter in 10 days. So there's that. Just hang on. I'll show you the loaf when it comes out. I'm just going to score it a simple score and then bake it for an hour in the oven. So I start out at 450 Fahrenheit. After 25 minutes, I remove the lid and reduce the temperature to 400 for another 20 minutes. Okay, so there's the finished loaf. That's the strawberry white chocolate. And now I'm putting in this loaf. Okay, the loaves are done. But Tom and I had a bit of a discussion. We had such a lovely reunion when I got back. It was awesome, and he's been amazing since. And today I took offense to something he said, and it exploded into a few things that we obviously have been harboring. And we did calm down, but it takes a lot for Tom and I to communicate. So use less words, people. That's my best advice. Peace out, motherfuckers. We're gonna go berry patch, blackberry picking, if there's any left.